here. What's up, everybody? It's your favorite streamable show's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the Marvel Legends Marvel Knights Wave Part 2 with Daredevil, Punisher, and Elektra. I do want to say this, I forgot to mention it in the last video. I bought this case from Crashbox Customs. You can find them on Facebook or whatever. It's a good people over there. It's Pinkerton's crew, and it's solid. Order with confidence. That being said, I'm not in for these TV show representations of these characters, and he allowed me to review his own personal set. So we're going to look at them. I actually had to open them, and he actually has an issue or two right out of the box that we're going to talk about when we talk about these. But for the most part, there's still some good stuff going on here and some growing pains as well. That being said, let's get cracking. And we'll start with Daredevil. And once again, I think it has this digital paint applied to the face. I'm telling you. I think there's a lot of digital sculpting going on with this in general, all this like texture in the suit and whatnot, and like maybe some of the seam work. It's really a great sculpt. The head sculpt, as you can see, it has the differentiation between the red and the black, where it's like a maroon and the black. You have the 5 o'clock shadow. The lips are painted. I'm sure this is that new technology, because this is better looking than anything I've ever seen Marvel Legends do. The head itself is on a ball hinge, so you get down to there. It does destroy the sculpt a little bit, but without destroying the sculpt, probably to there, and then up to there, and then the swivel, of course. Now we'll back out a little bit. We'll talk about these two accessories, the Billy Club. Once again, we've seen this type of, I'm not sure if it's the exact same mold. This does seem like it's made of a little sturdier plastic. They do connect, and you can separate them and holster them in his leg holster. Like that. You know, I'm not going to damage any of the paint or anything, but just like that. So we'll set those to the side. He also comes with two, oh no, these aren't his, are they? Two fist hands. These are his. So there's that option. All right. Let's talk about them. So we have this textured suit throughout, and then we have the designs in the suit, and that's all sculpted extremely well. The black is painted on, and then the silver is painted on. No issues. There is an issue in these shoulders. So I get this one all the way down to there. I can't get this one any further down. They've had a lot of these issues recently in Marvel Legends. And there is also a weirdness to the sculpt there that's not quite right, like where the armpit is. But it's the same sort of design throughout the shoulder. You have a disc hinge that does get you up to there and then around. Bicep swivel at a pretty clean cut, I'd say, and then a double jointed elbow, wrist swivel, hinge in out on both, and the fists hinge in out as well. Try not to lose these. We have an ab crunch, get you down to there, back to there, and then a waist swivel. T-jointed ball joints for hips, get you out to there, forward to there. Thigh swivel, once again, the silver detailing, the entire figure's done the same way. And then we have the thigh swivel, we have the double jointed knee, and then we have the ankle tilt down, slightly up, and a rocker. The boots are all solid plastic, and they're sculpted nicely, but there's nothing else going on with them, really. And I will say there is, like, when you line up, let me back out a little bit more. If you line up his suit, right, so that suit is in line, like, there's something awkward about his feet. There is a ankle swivel. I didn't mention that, so that does help it. But there is something awkward to me about this, just the way it is. But it's not hateful whatsoever, and the ankle swivel definitely makes it better. I forgot about that because at first I didn't notice the ankle swivel, and it was just like even straightforward. It just looks a little awkward. Like maybe his hips aren't wide enough. Like maybe up here, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but something seemed off to me. It may not seem off to you, but I thought I'd mention it. Next up, we have Mr. Frank Castle. He comes with two guns. Not a whole lot of detail on those guns, but we have this one. Decent enough sculpt, but, you know, no paint or anything. And then the same with this firearm here, just a handgun. And he does hold them both perfectly well. But once again, it's the face. Look at that paint job. It's incredible. It's really incredible at $20. I mean, we have shading throughout. I can see the dot matrix a little bit on this one, but it's still not hateful. We got the 5 o'clock shadow. There is an awful lot of gloss on this paint, which is like the one thing I would advise that they tone down. But for a first run at it, I mean, the lips, the eyes, the eyebrows, like the stubble hair, like it looks amazing at $20. Bravo. Head's on a ball hinge. You get up to there, but it destroys the sculpt. Without destroying the sculpt, you can get to about there. All the way down, that also destroys the sculpt, but you can get all the way down to about there with it looking kind of okay. And then you get the swivel. The neck is all sculpted, and then the skull bit is painted on, and I don't even know how they did this. Like, it's phenomenal. The skull paint is phenomenal. Now, of course, I'm biased. We have this trench coat over top, which is a soft floating piece, and then we have a ball joint for the torso with a great range all the way around. Waist swivel, that works fine. There's tons of sculpted detail in the vest, so that works. Let me see if I can back out. Is that in focus? I don't know. My camera's been acting a little weird today. Alright, so we have a disc hinge for the shoulder. Get you out to there, and then around. It does... So you have no bicep. Well, actually, you do have a bicep swivel. The elbow is just 90 degrees, but it's only 90 degrees at this particular bend. But because of the bicep swivel, you can get the hand decently around. Doing coats and baggy coats and stuff like this, it's hard to get the sculpt to look good and the articulation to work, especially at this price point. Wrist swivel and hinge in out, I would have preferred up down, I think. And it's the same for this side as well. T-jointed ball joints for hips. Great range. Yeah, that's definitely not in focus. Let me see what's going on here. Great range there. Thigh swivel. Double jointed knee. Not the prettiest, but effective. I think this is a digital sculpt here because there's like tons of texture in these pants. The wrinkles and stuff look great though, as does like the BDU pockets. You know, you do have those giant holes in them to get the knee joint to work, but whatever. And then the boots are sculpted well enough. No paint on them, but they do look good. The ankles, no tilt up, a good tilt down, and a rocker. So all in all, you know, a couple issues articulation-wise, but, you know, sculpt-wise, it's really beautifully done, and paint-wise as well. And lastly is Elektra. Accessory-wise, she comes with two sides, just this black painted onto the silver here, and that's it. I'm just going to leave them in her hands because they do look wicked. As you can see, she holds them just fine, and she also comes with an alternate head sculpt, which we will look at a little closer because once again, it's pretty beautiful. So this sculpt comes through, and then this digital paint application on top of it looks stupendous. I mean, I don't really know how else to describe it. I am floored. Stunned and floored. It looks incredible. I'm guessing they're only going to be able to do this with the movie and show figures, like, you know, which is a bummer. But I guess it's okay that the other ones look a little animated too, so I don't know. I'm anxious to see them do it on the Black Series. We have the shading throughout on the hair. The ponytail doesn't swivel or anything, and then we have these two extra flaps that are glued in. It's actually one piece. But it is amazing. And probably a customizer's dream. Anyway, let's continue looking at the figure. We have a ball, so we have a ball hinge for the neck, but the head sits up a little too high on the neck. See if I can zoom in on that so you can get a better idea. It's a little bit of a bummer, you know, like just sculpt wise. Articulation wise, it should help. You know, like that doesn't even look terrible. And I guess that looks a little bad, but it's, you know, it's okay. Straight on, it won't be a problem. And then we have a ball joint for the torso. Works really well and gets you the swivel. Same great paint on the eyes, and then the same shading on the hair. And then we have the mask that's sculpted on and painted. The red is actually shaded on her top, and then the black is flat, and we've seen this sculpt before at the lower torso. And then we have disc hinge shoulders that get you out to there and around. No bicep swivel. You get a swivel at the elbow, and it gets you just about 90 degrees. And then it looks like this is actually sculpted on. If it's not sculpted on, it's glued on to the forearm. The forearms do look a little big to me, proportion wise, but it's not the worst thing in the world. And then that's painted black, and then the hand, I think, is painted black, and then the red is painted on. No, it's painted red, and then the black is painted on. I mean, it's sculpted red, the black is painted on. It looks good. Articulation's a little limited, you know, but it looks good, and the hinge is in out on both hands. T-jointed ball joints for hips. We've seen this articulation on this before. Same as Jessica Jones, same as Mary Jane, I believe. This one did come in packaging a little warped here at the joint. I don't know if Mr. Pinkerton's going to be able to fix that with hot water. And then we have a thigh swivel, a little tight. It can get you up to there. Double jointed. Ooh, I'm not going to do that one. Double jointed knee on this one. That one's a little tight too. I'm not going to mess with it. And then ankles, you get a tilt up, a tilt down, and the rocker, and the ankle joint is sculpted on, so no swivel. Yeah, I mean, no paint on the legs or anything, but I mean, it comes across just extremely well done. Look, I've been criticized in the past for being too rough on Hasbro, and I get it, but I just want to mark today, July, whatever, day of our Lord. This is the first time in this wave, looking at the paint on these faces, that I'm not only happy, like I've been happy with Hasbro products before, whether it be Black Series or Marvel Legends. I am floored. I am amazed. I'm applauding. Like, I want to shake the hands of the folks. Like, this is a benchmark for me. Because this is the first time that I feel like I bought a product that is really attempting to give you your money's worth from Hasbro. Just write it down in a book or something. I don't know. Final thoughts wise, I think they're outstanding. Let's talk about the negatives. There's some weird proportion things in the way that the suit and everything kind of works for Daredevil. Once posed, I don't think you'll notice it, but there is some little strange nuances to him. You will find that Punisher is extremely limited in terms of his articulation, and then there seems to be some assembly mold issues with Elektra in terms of those jeans pants sculpts that they've been using for Mary Jane and Jessica Jones, etc., etc. So you may notice issues there across the board, but the sculpts and the paint have literally never looked better. I don't know what Hasbro is doing, but I'm looking and I'm liking. I want to give a special shout out to Crashbox Customs. You can find them on Facebook. I'll try to have a link in the description. You can order them through him, I believe. He's a pleasure to do business with and a good all-around dude. And I really just can't say enough good things about what they're doing here. I can't wait to see it applied to other properties. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time.